There's really kind of two operating systems that people tend to work on. One is going to be when they're looking to maximize pleasure, and the other is going to be when they're trying to minimize pain. And we're generally operating out of one of those two positions and nothing else. So for me personally, it's more about maximizing pleasure. That's generally what I seek to do. So how do I do that? Well, I like luxury items and luxury experiences. I like trips and vacations. I like to drink alcohol, in moderation. I like first class travel. I like comfortable sofas, all of these sorts of things, right? I'm a good consumer when you're trying to sell something that maximizes pleasure. So if you're trying to sell me an upgrade to a more comfortable hotel suite, I'm a great candidate for that. If you want to sell me really comfortable clothing that I will enjoy wearing, but that looks nice, I'm a great candidate for that. Coaching or consulting, again, if it's going to maximize my pleasure so that I'm, better at what I do, which I get pleasure from, then I'm a great candidate for that as well. However, things that are going to minimize my pain, I'm less of a great candidate for. So if you're going to try to sell me on a monthly subscription to like talk with a doctor about things I should be doing for my health, then I'm probably actually not that excited about that, because I'm like, yeah, I know I should do that. And that sort of stuff would help to minimize pain. However, it's just not something where that motivates me as much as maximizing pleasure does. So that's me, but of course other people are different. For I think my mom, it's more about trying to minimize pain than maximize pleasure, which is interesting because we're related, and obviously I was raised by her and my dad, but we have a different mentality on that. And the reason this is important is when it comes to selling and marketing and things like that, you really need to know who you're talking to. Are you talking to somebody who's trying to maximize pleasure, or are you talking to somebody who's trying to minimize pain? Because they're very different people. So if you have a product that's helping people to lose weight, there's actually even there kind of two ways you can sell it, right? One is saying that you can eat whatever you want, eat gooey chocolate bars, eat delicious fried foods or cheeseburgers or pasta, and that you can have a very pleasurable eating experience and yet still lose weight. That in that case, you're saying you're marketing from a position of telling them that you're going to help maximize their pleasure while still getting them, a result that they're interested in. And by the way, I'm thinking in my head about like keto stuff, like keto dessert or banana squash pasta or whatever it is. So I'm not trying to say that we're lying to people, but I'm just saying in those cases, right, that's one type of marketing. But then there's the whole minimizing of pain, which is where you're probably coming from a more maybe emotional and honestly probably more negative standpoint, where you're talking about how if you want to stop feeling judged, stop feeling insecure, stop feeling like you're not good enough, stop feeling embarrassed when you go to the beach or when you are wearing a tank or crop top or whatever it is, right? In those cases, you're talking about, hey, this product, by buying this, we're going to help to minimize your pain. And of course, in really good marketing and messaging and positioning and copywriting and all of those sorts of things, we'll do a hybrid of both. So ideally, to be most effective, you're talking to both people, right? You're saying you can maximize your pleasure by getting to enjoy the meals you eat, and these workouts are actually, you'll feel energized and invigorated, and they're not stressful, and in fact you'll enjoy doing them and you're going to get pleasure from doing them. And also think about, as you do this, you'll feel more secure and more confident. You'll no longer feel like you're not good enough or feel embarrassed or whatever it is. And so you're kind of combining both of them together. But it does really help, again, if you can think about, okay, based on what I'm selling, my value proposition, the product, things like that, who am I predominantly targeting? And I think that's a really important question to ask, and that maybe it doesn't get asked as much as it should. So that's it. Just a little thought on maximizing pleasure versus minimizing pain, and hopefully you find that helpful.